Welcome to Star Watch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. A Pia's under 30 listing doesn't end a journey. It endorses a direction, creative work that teaches by doing and travels across borders with humility. If leadership is the ability to uplift others, then the measure isn't trending peaks. It's the number of safe, small adventures sparked in neighborhoods everywhere. So here's our closing pact. This week, plan a beginner-friendly walk with a friend. Check the weather twice, carry enough water, thank a local worker who keeps your green spaces clean, and write down one thing you learned outdoors. Post it, tag your park, uplift your place. That's how inspiration compounds. If this story gave you a spark, subscribe to Star Watch Now, tap the bell, and share this with one person who needs a gentle nudge to step outside. Thank you for watching, for your kindness in the comments, and for choosing hope over cynicism. We'll be here next week with more proof that preparation, curiosity, and care can change the way a generation moves. He began under stage lights, but tonight's story follows Wang Yibo into boardrooms and filings. Reports collated from public business search apps say he is linked to 4 companies, including a key tech media firm where he holds a majority 70% stake. That single number reframes him. Not merely a star endorsing brands, but an owner who can steer decisions, protect his name, and compound value across time. Trademarks tied to Wang Yibo, Wang Yibo, appear across diverse classes, signaling a long game in licensing and merchandise. The narrative sits against a wider entertainment economy where personal brands evolve into institutions, with artists buffering creative risks through equity and intellectual property. This is where fandom meets fundamentals. How a performing career becomes a portfolio, how applause becomes assets. And it raises a tantalizing question for viewers aged 35 to 75 who care about sustainability and prudence. What does smart, measured growth look like for a modern Asian icon? Attribution to media summaries of Tianyanka Records. Welcome to Star Watch Now. Public documents around Yuehua Entertainment's listing help map the industry he grew within. An agency model where artist performance drives corporate results. That framework matters because it explains why top artists often pursue clearer control of their name, narrative, and revenue ladders. Yuehua's Hong Kong prospectus outlines a pan-entertainment group whose economics are tightly linked to talent outcomes. A reality that encouraged many Chinese artists to structure side entities for IP and commercial licensing. Against that backdrop, the idea of 4 associated companies and a 70% stake reads as risk management rather than showy empire building. Diversify streams, separate roles, and formalize governance. It is the slow, almost unglamorous work that keeps a public persona stable when trends turn. For viewers, the take-home is simple. Filings tell a quieter story, one of structure. And in entertainment, structure is often the difference between a brilliant season and a durable decade. Industry context from Yuehua's HKEX filings. The leap is strategic, not cosmetic. Majority ownership in one node of a 4-company network suggests the shift from being the product to owning the platform around the product. Trademarks across categories, from instruments to daily goods, are not vanity labels. They are optionality. The right to test capsule items, co-create with designers, and license responsibly without surrendering control. Scholars tracking China's fan economy describe a maturing market where fandom underwrites commerce. Yet longevity hinges on credible governance and ethical engagement, transparency, fulfillment quality, and measured data use. In that light, a portfolio of marks and roles acts like scaffolding for the story to grow without collapsing under hype. For fans beyond China, in the US, Japan, Korea, Southeast Asia, Europe, the appeal is universal, talent expressed as products and programs that age well. A steady hand on equity means creative choices aren't hostage to quarterly noise, but guided by patience and purpose. Fan economy perspective, academic overview. Proof of demand shows up in screens and shopfronts. Films, dramas, music releases, and long-running brand partnerships. But real resilience comes when that demand is translated into well-designed assets. Companies with clear scopes, trademarks covering key classes, and vendor partnerships that can flex with markets. Context matters here. China's macro cycle has been uneven, yet 2024 growth still printed around 5%, buoyed by exports and policy support. Luxury, meanwhile, endured a sharp 2022 contraction before rebalancing, rewarding brands with strong icons and durable storytelling. For an artist operator, that cocktail argues for breadth and prudence. Nurture multiple geographies, avoid over-reliance on a single vertical, and anchor launches to quality rather than hype. This is why viewers will keep seeing quieter moves, filings, renewals, tiered collaborations that look boring but compound. In entertainment, sturdiness often hides in the footnotes. Macro and luxury market context. Audience as partners, not prospects. Mature fandoms, 35 to 75, value dignity, craft, reliability. Imagine membership circles offering early previews, atelier tours, community votes on colors or materials, experience over extraction. IP to product pipelines with purpose. Travel gear for touring fans, reparable leisure wear, stationery for creators, each with transparent supply chains and returns. Local craft, global stage, a Kyoto leather studio, a Thai natural dye workshop, a French paper mill, limited runs with provenance stories that stand the test of time. Health of the creative body, collaboration with physios, vocal coaches, and sports scientists to produce classes and content for safe practice, with a ring-fenced slice funding arts education grants. Data-light loyalty, respectful newsletters, calm pre-orders, generous policies. These are not fantasies. They are operationalizable when an artist controls trademarks and corporate rails, choosing trust as a strategy. In a world chasing clicks, slow brand is the bold choice, and it wins older, wealthier, more loyal audiences. General fan commerce best practices. Academic synthesis. Why does the 4 companies /70% stake headline stir hearts as well as minds? Because it represents a different kind of success story, self-possession. Viewers who have built careers, families, and small businesses recognize the discipline behind the gloss, governance documents, careful licensing, quality control, measured growth. It is the antidote to throwaway virality. There is also cultural symbolism at play. Asian artistry often prizes longevity and refinement. Building a business perimeter around one's name honors that ethic. Fans don't simply want louder fame. They want their icon to be well-run, to last. And for those mentoring younger artists, the message is practical. Learn your contracts, respect your audience, and own the right things, the IP, the processes, the promise you make to customers. In this telling, the celebrity isn't a comet but a constellation. Lights connected by structure, shining longer because they are held together with care. Industry model context from HKEX filings. No portfolio is immune. Consumer cycles turn. Headlines fade. Projects miss. But the architecture matters. Separated entities to quarantine risk. Trademarks to defend identity. Diversified markets to balance shocks. And measured launch calendars to avoid fatigue. China's macro picture will likely stay mixed. Policymakers can't script creativity, only the conditions around it. That is why artist-led firms should over-index on governance and compliance, clean audits, sensible tax planning, and transparent sustainability claims. In luxury and entertainment, reputations move at the speed of screens, so the antidote is pre-commitment to truth. Deliverables that match promotion, contracts that respect partners, products that can be repaired rather than binned. Do the small, right things now, and the brand survives the next squall. The audience most rewarded by this approach. Viewers 35 to 75 who buy fewer, better, and remember promises kept. Macro and market risk context. For American and European viewers, the signal is entrepreneurial, patient capital applied to culture. For Japan and Korea, it echoes craft traditions, disciplined, iterative, respectful. For Southeast Asia and Australia, it invites regional co-making where stories and supply chains travel together. And for everyone, it argues that modern fame works best when quietly well-run. For companies, a majority stake in one, a lattice of trademarks, not a crown but an operating system, designed to let the art breathe and the audience trust. If the future of entertainment belongs to builders, Tonight's chapter explains why this path is more than a headline. It's a blueprint. Industry/luxury context.